Welcome back, everybody. My name's APredator54, aka Adam, coach in the Chesney Park Slowpokes, and today I bring you my Season 9 draft analysis for BBL Wi-Fi. This season, I am not a replacement. I actually got to draft. So, without further ado, let's hop into this. The rules of it are, we have 130 points to draft 10 to 12 Pokemon. You can use 42 points for up to 2 Ubers. So, as long as it's a pair that doesn't exceed that, it's legal. Some of our high-end Ubers are 26 and 24 points. 26 and 25 points, so you can't physically pair them with it, because the lowest Uber is an 18. So, without further ado, let's hop into this. I was 5th overall pick. A few things I was torn on with my first pick went, and I just got lucky and didn't get sniped first round. I ended up getting the monster that is Magirna. Soul Heart is absolutely broken. Anytime a mon faints in front of me, even if it's by Toxic or Future Sight or Burn, free boost. All it has to do is die. This mon gets access to Shift Gear to make itself faster. This gets access to Trick Room to control the speed tier game. This gets access to moves like Calm Mind, Iron Defense, which makes it incredibly terrifying. This even gets Draining Kiss, which gives 75% of its health back of the damage it does, which is insane. This setup, click and Draining Kiss, it'll never die. This even gets access to Light Screen and Reflex, gets access to Heal Bell, so it can be supportive for the entire team. This only being weak to ground and fire is amazing. It resists everything else, and then there's a few things that are neutral against it, which is also a plus. But as far as special coverage, this thing gets like Volt Switch, Flash Cannon, Steel Beam, Flare Cannon, gets Dazzling Gleam, Aura Spear, Focus Blast, Ice Beam, Thunderbolt. But it's that, and the fact that this thing gets Volt Switch is amazing. It can pivot out when it's in danger, unless it's against a ground type, which is insane. This can even have physical coverage if you really want to take advantage of the Shift Gear and then double as it being a store power set in the back. So you'll just kill things, steadily gain special attack as you're doing physical offense, and then just click stored power, which will really throw your opponents off guard. That one's incredibly hard set to do because special's always better. But Magirna is just a phenomenal mon. I have this both in rustic and regular coloration. I have 17 of them from when I used it in the past. I kind of have to look through to see what the EV spreads are for on some of them. If not, I'll just regen some of the ones I don't need. But without further ado, round 2 came back to me, and I got Blaziken. This is a phenomenal Pokemon. Speed Boost is absolutely busted if you use it correctly. And the fact that this mon also gets Priority and Vacuum Wave, and I believe it gets Mach Punch as well, is amazing. It doesn't always have to 100% rely on the Speed Boost. That and this thing can be special or physical with access to Swords Dance, and I believe Nasty Plot as well. This gets access to Brick Break, Close Combat, Flare Blitz, Flamethrower, Heat Wave, U-Turn, Rock Slide, Earthquake, Brave Bird. It's got coverage galore. It's just a really offensive mon. That, and I believe it also gets Defog. So I have Hazard Removal in an Uber. Granted, I'm probably never going to do it, but it's can come in handy. This mon is just amazing. Being able to pivot in and out with U-turn is a plus with this thing because there's always going to be a matchup where it doesn't want to stay in. But once the speed boost gets rolling and you're outspeeding your opponent's team and there's realistically nothing they can do to prevent this, say GG now. They have to prep for special, too, because you never know what's coming when you're facing a Blaziken, which is absolutely insane. And I look forward to using this mon. My friend Scarlett loves this thing. Hopefully it puts in work. Hell, I might even name it after them. Round number 3. Brillo Boom was still sitting there 11 picks later. I'm sitting there like, oh, so I can just choice band Grassy Glide things to death? Hold my beer. That and this thing gets access to knockoff, fake out, superpower, acrobatics, high horsepower, and access to break to break screens. For a mon that hits 150 speed, that's actually really good. And this thing is bulkier than you expect. There's even a Leech Seed Sub Protect set for this as well if you want to be incredibly annoying to your opponent. But just the fact that this applies so much pressure on your opponent is insane. That and this also gets U-turn. That's amazing. It allows me to pivot out into something that wants to kill me and then just nerf the damage, which is insane. So Big Monkey just go boom. Seeing my friend Sergio Rules use this made me really want to draft this, and this is like the 5th time I've had this, so hopefully I can get more and more kills with it than I have before. But with a lot of the Ubers being dragon type, this thing is just going to have to bash things and then get out. It's as simple as that. Round 4, I picked up Zapdos because static is absolutely busted. A lot of the good mons are all physical. And this thing just paralyzes them. This thing only being weak to ice and rock, and the being weak to ground only when it roosts is amazing. Unless it's Zygarde in the coincidence of 1,000 arrows that it can still hit me. Other than that, I have a ground immunity, unless I'm in gravity. But this thing hits very hard. Zapdos has access to Heat Wave, Weather Ball, Hurricane, Thunderbolt, Discharge, access to Toxic Roost, gets access to U-Turn, gets access to Brave Bird and Wild Charge. You can run physical or special, which is amazing. But it's incredibly bulky, and I love that fact. This also gets defog, which means more hazard removal. Nice. This is a good switch in to fighting types. This is a good switch in for any ground type cook and EQ. Overall, this mon's going to do the job it's designed to do, and hopefully I can excel with it. I can't remember who had the combo in the past of Zapdos and Magirna, but I believe it was Q the Costa Rican. I'm not 100% sure. It was somebody. No, Q was Naganadel and Magirna. But anyways, Zapdos, look forward to using you. You are well worth the 16 points. And in round 5, I got Ladios. Good God. I got a second of ground immunity, and I ended up getting special coverage galore. This even has physical coverage as well, and access to Dragon Dance, access to Calm Mind, access to Defog and Tailwind. A Draco Meteor from this thing absolutely hurts, like, a lot. So, with this thing being incredibly fast and incredibly bulky, I can use it any which way I want to, depending on the matchup. This even has access to screens, which is amazing. This even gets access to recover to heal itself, which is phenomenal as well. This even gets access to T-Wave and Toxic. Gets access to Surf, Thunderbolt, Psychic, Draco Meteor, you name it. A lot of coverage. Even Shadow Ball, which is amazing. Because it needs to be able to hit the types that it's weak to, which is really good for a mon like this. Because it can actually revenge kill or kill them out the gate without taking damage if it hits them hard enough. And then I picked up Tentacle because I was like, I need a grounded poison type and I need a really, really bulky water. I know I'm weak to ground and I'm neutral to grass, but Brillo Boom kind of nerfs the ground weakness. And I'm weak to Psychic as well, but Magirna and Ladios are good switch-ins for that. And this is a excellent Ghost and Fire type switch, Ghost and Fighting type switch-in to protect the other mons, which is amazing. This thing's really bulky, gets access to knockoff and rapid spin. Yes, more hazard removal. It's going to be a common thing with this team. Because I'm not going to willingly let you just break through this team by setting hazards. You can try, but I will punch you in the face for it. Or in this case, whip you with a bunch of tentacles. This gets access to Mirror Coat, Scald, Giga Drain, I believe Extra Sensory. It hits harder than you think it does. Slap an Assault Vest on this, it just chews for days and then reflects back with Mirror Coat. It's really good. That and being able to just hit things with surprise damage is amazing for a Pokemon. It's worth the 9 points. I've personally never used one of these, and I look forward to using it. Like, as far as on here, the only thing I've used is Magirna and Brillo Boom on this team. So, this is going to be a learning experience, and hopefully I can provide at least some entertainment for my opponents. Then I got Licky, the bulky normal cancer of the game. Wish, Heal Bell, Knockoff, and Body Slam is just cancer. That and being able to just hit ghost types with Knockoff and not have to worry about it, and then have fire coverage for steel types that normally would resist normal is amazing. This can't be taunted. This is immune to Intimidate. This can't be encored. Oblivious is just nuts. That and this thing can 1v1 most things that aren't already set up, and then just call it a day. This thing's fat. This thing's bulky, and it packs more of a punch than you think it does. And it's just there to make your lives hell, and then make you cry occasionally. That and being able to pass Wish to anything on my team is absolutely disgusting. Wish and then switch into a damage reduction. Oh, hey, Wish. Fighting type move. Here's all of my answers that like to chew and need health back. Absolutely insane. That and this gives me a ghost immunity, which is incredibly common with the Ubers, is ones that hit hard with Ghost and Dragon. Then I got the monster that is Crocodile. This does get access to Anger Point, but that's a situational set because it requires being crit, which nobody in their right sane mind wants to be crit. But access to Intimidate and Moxie is incredibly good. This thing gets access to Stealth Rocks, Earthquake, Close Combat, Stone Edge, Fire Fang, Ice Fang, access to EQ and Knockoff for really hard-hitting stab. This even gets access to Scale Shot to increase its own speed after clicking Bulk Up. just to counteract the defense drop, which is insane. This thing can just get faster and hit harder. It's overall a good mon, worth the 13 points, and I'm surprised it was still there in round number 8. I look forward to using this as well. This is another mon I have very little experience with, but I have a lot of experience with dealing with, and it is utterly annoying. Just the fact this thing hits so hard is what makes it so annoying. It's a good prankster blocker too, and it has the covers to kill all of them. But yeah, Crocodile, Gator don't play no shit. I know it's a crocodile, but I wanted to say the phrase. Then we've got Dust Noir. This is ghost type cancer. Licky is normal type cancer. This mon, people were questioning why I didn't get Dusclops. Well, I didn't want to be locked into having to use an Eviolite. This thing does the job and hits very, very hard with Poltergeist. This even has Trick Room to influence battles. This has access to Will-O-Wisp and Thunderwave to cripple my opponent, as well as Toxic. This is incredibly bulky. It's really hard to kill unless you have a really strong Ghost or Dark type move to just wallop this. And even then, sometimes it doesn't kill, which makes it to where people walk into a weakness policy. But that is also very hard to pull off. This even can be special with access to Focus Blast, Shadow Ball, Ice Beam, Psychic, which is absolutely insane. Like, I've seen my wife use a special variant of this, and she trolled somebody in and out of Trick Room for 15 turns until it finally died, and I was sitting there like, what? This thing took on a Mandibuzz while being special. I'm just going to let people wrap their heads around that, because it also had this also gets access to Pain Split as well to just get all the health back. Gets access to Destiny Bond. If I know I'm going to die, click Destiny Bond, you come with me. There's no way around it. That's insane. I believe I also get Memento as well to lower your stats, which allows setup on my other Pokemon. Overall, this thing's fat. We'll get the job done. It's just going to be there to raise hell, whether support-wise or offensive-wise. And I look forward to using this. And then we've got Beep Beep, the little bus. My second favorite sticky web setter. I always try and get Vikavolt when I can, but when I have the opportunity to get this as a backup, I don't complain whatsoever. This gets access to Toxic, Wild Charge, Volt Switch, Bug Bite, X-Scissor, access to sticky webs. Realistically, this thing's so bulky that some fire and ground type moves can't even kill this thing at one shot. So you're just hoping and praying it doesn't live, because then you got to deal with the sticky webs that come after, or a toxic being fired in your face. Imagine being an Uber and letting this little tiny thing badly poison you. Or click Thunderwave and now you're crippled. You're literally, at that point, are taking a ride on the short bus. When you're paralyzed. Next, we have Ice Cube. You know, I wanted Ice type. I wanted it to be fun. Might as well get Gert Bilbo's mascot for 2 points. Realistically, the only thing that really walls this thing is steel types, because it has covers to hit everything else super hard after belly drumming. Yeah, like Head Smash, Icicle Crash, Icicle Spear, Double Edge. Can't remember if I thought I saw Iron Head, but I'm not 100% sure. but it gets liquidation as well. And it even gets access to Weather Ball and Freeze Dry, which is insane. You could pull, like, say, Seismitoad or Gastrodon pop in front of us. Surprise Freeze Dry. That's insane. It may only be like base 55, but that's still going to be a times 4 effective move slamming into them, and they're not going to expect it. Especially for something known for just clicking Belly Drum and just being +6 attack slamming into things. That, and once this thing's face is broken by a physical move, it becomes 200 speed, which is incredibly fast. There's only a few non and mythical Pokemon that are faster than this, which is insane for a 2-point mon. But granted, people can do a workaround and try and hit me with a special move, but this thing also has higher SPDF and defense when it's in the Ice Face mode. It gets frail and faster when it's in the no Ice Face mode. But overall, the goal is to at least get 5 kills with this all season, or get 1 sweep and I'll be content. Regardless of what happens in my season, if this thing sweeps somebody, I have bragging rights. This is my fuck around and find out mon in the draft, and I'm really going to try that. And then I had 6 points left at this point, and I was like, let's get another mon I haven't tried before. Let's get a Stealth Rocker and Duraludon. This being Steel and Dragon's only weak to fighting and ground, neutral to ice, fire, fairy, and dragon. But realistically, Brillo Boom cuts that weakness to ground in half, and then now you're looking at, hey, I got a fighting weakness. Well, I have a whole Zapdos, a whole Magirna, I have a whole Ladios, I have a whole Dusknoir for immunity, and I have a whole Tentacle to switch in. You want to play this game? That, it's the def isn't exactly the best, but if you slap an Assault Vest on this thing, it's actually tankier than you think. And this mon gets access, I believe, to counter Mirko and Metal Burst. That's insane. So those all can be used with an Assault Vest. So now you're just chunking into me and you're getting either double damage back or you're getting 1.5 damage back. In even some cases, that 1.5 is enough to one-shot a threat that wants to kill this. Yeah, this is just a good mon. It hits really hard on the physical and special side. This even has special coverage in Ice Beam, Draco Meteor. I believe it gets Flamethrower, gets Thunderbolt, Surf, Solar Beam. This it's access to Steel Beam and Flash Cannon for stab. Draco Meteor is going to hit like a truck. I believe on the physical side it gets Earthquake, but I'd have to double check that. But if it does, I'm not realistically running that in my own grassy terrain. I do know it gets Heavy Slam and Iron Head, so this thing can just be incredibly annoying. But all in all, this is the team. Of what's on the screen, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 of the 12 mons I've used before. The rest is all going to be new territory, and I look to do well this season. So, like and subscribe if you haven't. Check out the other coaches that uploaded their draft analysis as well. And if you haven't, this is going up after it's already been held. But check out the live draft where we do pick by pick of what people picked. And that's going to be real interesting. It'll show you like people's thought processes of what they prioritize first. And you can just see the teams develop as they go. And it kind of will show why we did everything in the order we did. Like and subscribe if you haven't. And enjoy. And look forward to week 1 content when I play Pat Mac, coach of the Sacramento Sandslash. He is a terrifying battler. So, This is going to be a good test. Good night, everybody.